Rafi and Clee, live stream. Hopefully we don't say
Boom.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, you guys.
Look at us being like 30 seconds early.
I know.
To a live stream.
It's amazing. I think I might actually not have an issue ending the live stream because the button worked.
Indeed.
Yeah. Our Rogue community members know how much of an issue I've had, but I think I've got it. I think I've got it for this one.
Do we have the right window on this live stream?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Sergey, Victor, Lupita,
Lori.
CJ, Sarah, Judy, Nanu, Atomic Elf, Robot Rabbit.
Robot Rabbit.
Rafi found a button. Yeah.
I did.
True.
I did actually find a button. Finally. Linda's here. Esther's here. Hi. Can't stay long, but here for a little bit. Awesome.
Glad to have you here for however long. Hi, Lucy.
Jamie. Hi, you guys. So, yeah, this is exciting. This is our public live stream amidst the craziness that's going on our channel. Listen, you guys, I know that there's a lot of videos posting. There's like 2 videos a day as we're getting caught up. Just bear with us. It's only going to happen till the end of the month. And honestly, a lot of you guys are like, we love it. And so I'm sure you're fine with it. But for all of you that are like, this is overwhelming, this is only happening for the month of June.
Yes, and thank you to you guys who are watching the videos, and if you're enjoying them, that's awesome. And if you are like, it's too much, Rafi and Clee,
Just
thank you.
Just
for
thank
bearing
you.
with
Thank you
us
for bearing with us.
as we do this channel merging process.
Free Indeed is here. Hola, hola.
And Diane and Brianna.
Hey, you guys.
Nicola's like, oh my god, I made it for a live stream.
Awesome. Hi from Michigan. Robin.
Clover.
Hey, Clover.
Glad to have you all here.
So before we get started with the Q&A, I wanted to make a quick announcement. I am giving this away. This is one of my pieces that is called 3 Little Birds. This is actually one of my enhanced prints where I add texture and mount the piece on wood. So I'm doing a giveaway as a announcement that I am re-releasing this series, because I had the series for a while, and then with the move for like 2 years, this was basically just out of stock. That was what it was listed on our website. So I am now bringing it back, and I'm very happy because we have a working studio and a garage where I could cut wood and do all the things.
Printing capabilities
Yeah.
as well. Diane's like, me.
So the link for this, you got to sign up on the website. The link is in the description to this, and it's our, if you go on our website, you'll see like virtual shows and giveaways. That's where you'll find this. And the only thing I ask to sign up, you'll get like 5 credits, but you'll watch a video that I did on these links, like a 1-minute video, and then it'll take you to the page, and then you're entered. You're entered to win.
One lucky human.
And I'll be announcing the winners on Wednesday, next Wednesday.
Wednesday
the 21st. Wednesday the
21st-ish.
Yeah.
Hi, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Robin's like, I spit out my pop laughing at your visit to the Mothman Museum. Mothman Epic Adventure was one of the most eventful moments of the entire expedition. We crammed so much into that
So
day.
much. You guys, everything that happens in that video, plus what happened in the video before that with Bill, we did all of that in one day. Pretty much.
Yeah.
One day.
It was nuts.
So it was crazy. And honestly, I'm glad you guys are enjoying the adventure videos, because Clee and I have been watching them as they've been posting, and we've been really enjoying watching them.
There were things that I forgot happened in the time between when they first aired and now.
Yeah.
It's fun to look back.
So it's cool. It's really cool to be able to share it with you guys, because I know a lot of you guys haven't watched those, and it's awesome to be able to share it with you guys and see watch it for the first time.
Sweeties is like, nice. Lucy's like, oh, nice. Atomic Elf, are you serious?
Yes, I am. So this piece, my 3 Little Birds, I love this piece. This is based on a large painting that I did for someone, and this is just one of my favorite artist enhanced prints that I do. So my artist enhanced prints are all handmade and created by me. So yeah, whoever wins it, this is what you get.
Yeah. Hi, Leah. Hi, Karen. Karen was like, oh, yay, live stream.
Good luck, everyone. Awesome. Mothman is a righteous dude.
Mothman is a righteous dude.
Don't even start with Mothman and his
Rafi-
butt. Klee was just infatuated with Mothman butt.
Rafi's low-key jealous of Mothman because I touched his butt in the video.
That was a great video, and the posing with it. I've enjoyed them. I haven't seen the Mothman one yet.
Oh, Leah, I think you'll enjoy the Mothman one. Karen said, yes, Diane, I'm sure everyone here will be lucky to give it a new loving home.
Oh, I would love that, you guys. I can't wait. Hey, St. James. Hi.
Hi, St. James. Robot Rabbit said, one of my unloved artwork found a home today. So happy.
That's
Needed
so
to
cool.
share.
I love that. You know, and that's why you've heard me say over and over, do not, if something doesn't sell, it just means that the person that it's meant for hasn't found it yet. So you just got to put it out there more often than not so that that person can find it. A lot of times when something doesn't sell, it's like we get like weird about it and we're like, oh, people probably don't like it, and then
Maybe it sucks.
and then you don't take it out anywhere, and then you have it for like ever, and you're like, I don't know why it doesn't sell, and it's like it doesn't sell because you're not taking it anywhere to show it to people. So yeah, I have pieces that I've had for years that all of a sudden the right person found it, and you know, then it went off to a good home. So congratulations on your awesomeness.
And sticking with it until it found its
Yep.
person. Nicola wants to know, did we stumble upon Oil City, or did someone tell you that we might like it there and to check it out? We stumbled upon Oil City.
We stumbled upon Oil City. Now we did do research in different places, and we happened on Oil City before we came out, and the Oil City people, which you'll see in the video, like the video that's posting tonight after this live stream is actually us doing our house hunting in Oil City. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that, to get a recap of like what we did when we got here.
Yeah. So before our expedition, we had kind of thought like maybe we're going to be in northern Georgia. Maybe Paducah, Kentucky was a contender because they had an artist relocation program. Or let's see what Oil City is all about.
Nano said, Klee loves the shiny tush.
I do.
This
You
is
gotta
why
appreciate.
this is why we're not friends.
You got to appreciate a big butt. On
First time
Mothman.
here. I dig how you two interact with each other. Oh, thank you, Matthew.
Thanks, Matthew.
Yeah, we like each other.
It's true.
Yeah, it's a good thing too because we live together.
Yeah,
so
we do
if we didn't
all
like
the
each other,
things
that would
together.
suck.
It would be difficult. Sold a
Diane.
painting last night I've had for years and couldn't sell, said Sean. Congrats.
Congratulations, Sean. That's awesome. Yeah, like you guys, your artwork is not going to age like milk. It does not age like milk. So if something doesn't sell, again, it just means that, like, you know, don't get discouraged because something doesn't sell. Too many of us base everything on like, oh, did something sell at this show or whatever, and then that's the idea of success. Just because other people out there, that's what they pose as a successful thing is selling. Don't let yourself fall into that trap. We are artists. We and our artwork aged like wine.
Indeed. Really good wine, not like box wine.
Yeah,
Although there are some quality box wines out there these days as well.
I mean, I remember my days with Boone's Farm. I'm fine with it.
No disrespect.
Yeah.
Scroll that for a second.
Yep.
Lori wants to know, how do you feel about putting your artwork for sale if the current prices aren't selling them? Or do you write out the prices you set for each piece?
Lori, you know what? I do sales, but it's not based on whether or not artwork is selling or not. You know what I mean? Like, it's just based on my relationship with pricing my art. So there are times where, to be honest with you, I might have priced something really high based on insecurity, and it doesn't really hit me that I did that until later on. And so I have no qualms with like changing the pricing of my work based on what I'm comfortable with. And that's, you know, that's how I go about it. Pricing your work it's not a one and done thing. It's an evolution. Like, some things are going to become more expensive. Some things are going to be a little less. So Don't be too strict with your pricing of work. And if you wanna, if in your mind you're like, I would be more comfortable selling this for a little bit less, go ahead and do that.
Most definitely. Also, I'll put things on sale for special occasions like our holiday virtual show. Or if I can't make something anymore, like I have to discontinue it because I can't get stuff for it, I might put it on sale.
Yeah.
But yeah, what you said.
Yep.
Hi, Doll Fam.
Hey, Doll
House
Fam.
hunting in Oil City. Hey.
Yep.
Esther's like, wait, what is an artist relocation program? Some cities around the nation and probably worldwide are looking to attract artists to their
Yeah.
city to revitalize their economy.
So in case any of you are thinking that like as artists we don't really contribute or whatever like that, the truth of the matter is that most areas that are downtrodden or not financially doing well, one of the biggest benefits is a lot of times artists move into those areas because it's a little bit cheaper, and then they start revitalizing the area because artists are creative. We do fun things. We do public events, and a lot of times many of us don't even ask for permission to do it. And then what ends up happening is that, cafes move in and the area becomes a little bit more mainstream. Mm-hmm. Now, what happens in a lot of places, like in Chicago, a lot of areas that happened in, then, investors buy properties and the artists can't live there anymore because they can't afford to live there. And then they go to another area, which is much more affordable. And then they revitalize that area. And it's known in real estate that if you want to know where to make a good or a good investment in real estate, follow the artist, because that's where those property values are going to go up in value. And that's just our creativity and our innovative thinking is really what helps revitalize towns. So there are some towns out there like
Paducah, Kentucky is one of them. Oil City is one of them. There are a handful of them. And, I did a Google search for artist relocation programs, and each one's different. You might find relocation grants. You might find tax breaks. You might find better financing options on a home purchase. It just depends on what the city is offering.
That was the thing. We didn't get too many breaks, but we did get good financing for the house, considering that we're artists and we're self-employed, and basically any bank that looked at our stuff would have been like,
yeah, pretty much. Jesse wants to know, are you two ever like, I need space without you in it when you're in the studio? No. No, in fact, it's kind of the opposite. When I'm in the studio and Rafi's not there because he's doing something else, I feel kind of like...
I feel the same way. Like if I'm doing something, I'm like... Then it'll be those things. Then I take a break and I just go sit in the studio. I'm like, hi. It's pretty sad.
We try to always kind of coexist in the same places. Guys, if we miss your question or your comment, feel free to copy and paste it in the ticker tape because sometimes it moves too fast for us to scroll back.
Tish said, I'm aging like milk as of late. No, Tish.
No, you're not, Tish.
Just aging like cheese. That's all.
And cheese is amazing.
That's right. Success is achieving your goals. Mm-hmm. That's right, Christina. Yep. Success is just doing what you want to do, being you.
Nanu says he has a huge announcement in the community chat section. Well, if you'd care to tell the whole class, Nanu, not everyone has access to the community chat section.
Yeah, this is the public live stream, Nanu.
And if you don't want to, it's okay too.
Cameron, maybe Klee was attracted to Mothman butt because it looks like Rafi's butt.
Makes a person wonder.
I mean, I do squats. As you could see, as you watched in that one video, I was doing uphill squats. So, yeah.
Fit. So fit.
Buns of steel.
Christina said, I don't think I contribute, but I kind of accepted being useless and just do art.
Christina,
we all contribute.
There is nothing useless about creating art. Now, other people might see it as useless, and that's fine. They could see it as useless, but what we do is epic. Mm-hmm. Epic.
Hi, Martine. Atomic Elf said, gonna put that on your resume, Rafi. Property values have increased in Oil City by X percentage since we moved in.
I might actually do that. I got so involved with that stuff and started doing research into like different cities and like some of the programs that cities have to revitalize their town and how important artists are and stuff. And I went down a rabbit hole and then immediately was like, this is not doing me any good. I need to just get in the studio and create art and not worry about any of that stuff.
Tim said, now happening in my city, Bristol rental prices gone crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy how that happens.
Teresa said, don't know about artist relocation, but Sharon, PA is trying to become an arty town. They have artist alleys, art shops, galleries, etc.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. I mean, it's one of the things because, like, okay, so this area being the Rust Belt, what they were very dependent on was like industry jobs, right? And the problem is that then those industries are like, oh, we're going to leave and go overseas for tax breaks or go somewhere else. And an entire town that depends on that factory or whatever is now left in a bind. When you are dealing with cafes where the town itself, art shops, things like that, and that's what's bringing people into the town, and it's not just everyone is dependent on one thing, that's big. And I'm very excited about this area and like places in PA or just other cities that are doing the same thing. Because man, I don't want to count on one company to keep our area alive. That's ridiculous.
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Hi, Robert.
Hey, Robert.
Martine said the artist creating areas that become sought after is the same world over, was the same in Paris and Amsterdam.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right. Ginny said, yeah, it happened in Pilsen, and whatever the neighborhood around North Ave, Damon, and Milwaukee and Chicago can't even afford a coffee there anymore.
Yeah, Ginny, that's where, so Milwaukee, Wicker Park, the Wicker Park area in Chicago. I could tell you when I used to go there and it was like just kind of like slummy stuff or whatever. And a lot of artists open up little studios there. And eventually like coffee shops closed down and artists got pushed out of the area. And that's where the Real World, the first Real World MTV happened. And that area just exploded, and now artists can't afford to even buy a coffee there.
Indeed. Okay, so Nanu's announcement is that Nanu got a kitty.
Oh, congratulations!
A rescue in the shelter since December was part of a cruelty investigation. She's been nothing but a love bug, and she is watching with me. Hello, Nanu's new cat.
Hello, Nanu's kitty.
That's awesome, Nanu. Cameron wants to know, how would you go about starting an artist revolution in your town? What stuff would you do to get other businesses involved?
I'd approach them. I'd approach the businesses. The first thing I would do, for example, one of the things that I want to do here eventually is do a gallery night type thing where we do a gallery night every month.
Art walks,
like an art walk type thing where they close down the street. The businesses would be allowed to put their stuff out. Artists would be sponsored by the businesses to set up on the street and basically just do music, live music, fun times, alcohol, whatever, and open up the area for the community to come and really start promoting it in other cities and things like that so that they know that every month you could go to Oil City for a thing. Now, that's a big, ambitious plan, right? So maybe I would start little by little. Maybe we do like an event at one of the shops or get some of the shops to organize themselves and decide to do little things with the town. So you gotta kind of see where you're at and what the possibilities are. But I think it's really just us taking action and communicating with not only like the businesses, but the Arts Council, City Council, and stuff like that. Like I said, it's a big endeavor, so I got to take a look at that plan. That's what I want for the end goal. But how do I get there little by little and give myself a few years to actually get there?
There's things you can take on like more easily too, like open studios and coordinating with other artists to open their studios on the same evening and eventually do like an open studio crawl with a map, right? Like they did in the the Coyote Fest?
The Coyote Festival, yeah.
A friend of ours who's an opera diva here in town is doing pop-up opera this summer. She actually got a grant to do it. And she's doing opera performances in public locations and also in private places. So she reached out to businesses and homeowners to do these events.
And that's the thing. Like, you got to reach out to the businesses, take a look and see what kind of grants are in your area. Mm-hmm. We just got approved for a grant to do a big artist conference thing here that we're going to be putting together, free to the public for artists. So it's, there are a lot of opportunities. You just have to look for them. And, me filling out stuff for a grant was like pushing through a comfort zone. Like, that terrified me because I was like, I'm going to get, and then I applied for the grant, was like, I'm going to get rejected, it doesn't matter. And then I didn't get rejected. And then I really freaked out because I was like, shit, now I got to do stuff.
Indeed, we do have to do stuff. Public art is another big one, right? Like yarn bombing of things. Those are always so cute. Or public murals or public art installations. Obviously, you need to work with your city for stuff like that. But
and like, if you're doing like little things, as long as you're not damaging property, like I'm a big fan of like doing chalk art, things that are not permanent, and just kind of like starting to give attention to certain areas that need love, like if you have a big electrical box down the street or like a fire hydrant that could be painted, you could contact the city, and just see what you could get away with. And in some cases, I'd rather ask forgiveness than, wait around for permission.
Indeed.
So but be strategic with that. Don't do anything that's going to get you in big trouble.
Be morally sound.
Jenny's like, Wicker Park, duh. Yeah, Wicker Park.
Naomi said, hey, I see a lot of artists that travel to make a living. Do you find traveling, doing shows a must? Or if you have a decent art community, may it be possible locally? Essentially, is travel a must?
Naomi, I mean, I see artists that like do like the circuit and stuff like that. We never did the circuit because there's going to be plenty of towns around you, So like, my thing is like, yeah, you have the local area and you could do stuff in the local area, but really like something that's like 50 miles away, that's still pretty local. It's going to take you less than an hour to get there.
A day trip, if you will.
And with all the different towns, like even in this area, right, where a lot of people were like, there's not really a lot of art stuff going on. There's like art stuff going on every weekend. If we were to look at like a 60-mile radius, like there's stuff we could basically do a different show or thing every weekend if we wanted to, just within the radius of 50 miles.
Yeah. So our radius in Florida was about 2 hours in any direction. And we really never had to venture past that. And here, same thing, like not even counting Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
Which is close. Yeah, you can definitely do well with a radius of a couple hours.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure. Jackie said the River Valley area in Arkansas is up and coming with attention on artists, and businesses are hiring artists to paint murals on the old-timey buildings in downtown Fort
Yeah,
Smith.
exactly. That's how it starts, and it's the artists that get in there and like are doing the murals. My kids live in Arkansas, in northern Arkansas, and I remember the first time when we were traveling, we went through Hot Springs, and it was like a ghost town. And then within the last few years, we went through Hot Springs, and there was like an art festival, and everything looked really great. And it's, it's the artists. The artists are really the ones that bring in people that, are gonna invest or be interested.
Yeah. Let's see. I lost my place in the ticker tape. Bye, Esther. Thanks for
Bye,
being
Esther.
here. Somebody said, let's see, had a question about selling originals or prints. Hi, Tater Flaps.
Hey, Tater Flaps.
Victor, do you recommend selling originals or prints?
Both. Whatever sells. Some people you could do. There are some shows that I've been to that nobody looks at my print bin at all, and all I sell are small originals and some large originals. There are some shows that I've been to that people, just dig through my prints drawer. So like, just have them both available for people, especially if you're doing a show. Like have it available. When it comes to that stuff, like I will put everything out there that I can. If I'm making prints, then I'm going to put prints out there. Originals, whatever it is that I have, I want people to see it all. And that's really my way of approaching that whole thing. I know that there's like advice online about that stuff, and I'm like, whatever, don't tell me what to do. Like I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Tater Flaps wants to know, when's our next music thingy? We have a music live stream coming up end of the month.
Not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday
The
after.
following, I believe
following
it's like
Wednesday.
the 28th.
It'll be interesting too, because your parents will be here.
I know, and I'll be like,
I wonder if your mom's gonna be sitting in for the live stream.
maybe she will.
She's gonna be like, Oakley, why are you singing about folding your underwear?
She might be like that.
Yeah.
Bill said, may I do a sort of humble brag? I was approached this week by some people wanting me to teach a watercolor class, and they even offered money.
Yes, Bill, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
Listen, Bill, teaching like little local classes and stuff, that's a way for us to make an income. I remember, one of the things that I want to bring back is I had a class that I did years ago that was Get Wild and Paint with Rafi.
Let loose and paint
Let
with
loose.
Rafi.
Sorry, Get Wild.
Get Wild and Paint will be-
paint with this wild and crazy guy.
Wow, crazy guy.
For me, I'm like, all right, so as artists, we're like figuring out, all right, this is what we do for a living, so we got to make money. What kind of multiple streams of income can I create based on what I do and who I am? And that's one of them. If you feel comfortable teaching something, then absolutely open up that stream of income, because that's just an opportunity to be able to make more income with this thing that you love doing.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Ramon. Ramon said hello from Brazil and
Hi,
loves our
Ramon.
content. Cameron said, wait, I'm skipping around. Jenny said, this is what I'm gingerly thinking about for my plan in Michigan. The little town looks like a little artist town, but it's absolutely not. It's an old mining town that has good bones.
I love that, Jenny. I love that. And that's, I'm excited about your vision and your project. Like, I'm very excited.
Mm-hmm. Me too. It's going to be epic. Cameron said my art professor painted the entire art building inside a color that's not college color approved, and said the same thing. Easier to ask forgiveness. Luckily, it made it look nice.
Yeah, it's kind of like my mural downtown. I started painting that before I got permission from the city, and I was like, well, they still approved it, so yes.
Nicola is like, Rafi, have you ever painted a mural? Yes, he has. Don't do it in the hot months of
No.
the year.
It took me forever to paint the mural because I could only work out there for an hour before I started like overheating really badly. It was like 120 degrees in the shade, and I was like, this sucks. I'm never painting. I did the whole thing where I was like, I'm never painting murals again, but like that's not true. I love painting on large scale, just not when it's hot. I hate the hot.
Mm-hmm. IJK, I am a fashion designer from Germany, and I like very much what you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
At the moment, I still have to do an office job on the side because I do not earn enough money with my fashion.
It's a side hustle.
Corporate side hustle while you get your business launched.
Yep.
How do I manage to become a full-time fashion designer and live from my art? I would love to just quit my office job and publish projects. Pace yourself.
I mean, that's a big question, and that question goes in several different directions. Like for me, what I would say is like, see your job as your side hustle, and when it comes to the art and what you create, the more that you put it out there, the more venues and avenues that you find to be able to share your designs and your work, the more that it starts to become a reality, because the more other people start to realize that you exist and this is what you do. So in your case, like, can you get your stuff in shops and boutiques? Are you doing festivals? Are you doing fashion design shows? What kind of fashion? I know that in Pensacola they would do a yearly fashion design show, and in little towns they do that. And if it's not going on, can you organize one? Can you pull one together? Do you know other fashion designers, kind of like artists putting together like a group show for themselves in an old abandoned warehouse? Can you do the same thing with other designers? And it's just finding innovative and weird ways to put yourself out there. When it comes to clothes in particular, like your designs could be something, you could have the designs that you create, and then you could have designs that purposefully grab people's attention. You see that all the time in the design world. Like a lot of people that are walking down the runway are wearing stuff that like nobody's going to wear.
No, it's strictly for art purposes.
Yeah, exactly. So like, but the important thing is to have fun in putting yourself out there, figuring that side out. For me, like I enjoy the process of facing the fears of putting myself out there. So I do it often. And you know, as a side effect, more people know about what we do and who we are and what we're all about. So, but pace yourself, like Clee said, pace yourself because it takes time to build that. And it's the way that I recommend doing it because that way you don't have to jump through hoops for anybody else. You're just kind of building this thing on your own.
Matthew wants to know, when you guys do art shows, are there photographers there trying to sell? I just restarted taking. Yeah, in fact, our first show that we did here in our new town, we bought a photograph from a local photographer because I thought it was beautiful and I loved the story attached to it.
Yep.
We're also good friends with a photographer, videographer here that does a vlog interview series called The Raw Image, as well as he takes pictures and so
and he's a painter and a photographer. Also one of the journalists here, he's a painter and photographer. So yeah, most definitely any kind of medium. The only reason I haven't done photography yet is because I'm insecure. But I like the pictures I take and then I turned them into paintings. But if not, I mean, a lot of them would be perfectly fine as just paintings. I think honestly the thing is just now I'm starting to get more comfortable with prints. You know, like printing out my own stuff. And as a photographer, you want to be good at that. Now, that being said, I have like 1,000 sheets of photo paper that are not being used downstairs. So like maybe it's something I need to.
Clover's like, everything's digital now. You can live in a ghost town like me and then travel.
Yeah, exactly.
Clover literally lives in a ghost town, you guys.
Literally.
Epic fashion.
Yes.
Like, that's what I imagine.
Lori said, sadly, our town has no art shops or anything. I wanted to open a studio gallery in town, but there are no spaces available. I mean, Lori, again, one of those things where it's like, all right, that's fine. That's what's going on in your town. Do what you can to, you know, set up a show or a festival or like even visit one of those businesses or just, you know, like us, we have our studio in our home and understand that like the buck doesn't stop at your town. There are other opportunities in other places. Don't allow yourself to be, I hear artists do that all the time. It's like, well, I can't do this thing because nothing is happening in my town. I'm like, then you're the one putting the limitation on yourself. But, you know, also in the future, maybe some spaces will become available.
Yeah.
You know, if they get smart, then they're going to want more artists in their town. Just saying.
Christina said, teaching sounds fun, but I may not like the interaction with people. I don't think I'm skilled enough to just write a book. Don't underestimate your writing capabilities. If you have the desire to write, then just start writing and see what comes of it. And also, I think, and this is my personal opinion, you do not have to be an expert on a thing to teach a class. The thing that most students take away from a class, like, yes, they appreciate the skills they learned, but they're going to remember whether they had a good time.
Yep.
And I say this from our experience in teaching a handful of classes and also being videographers for several classes in our local area. The major takeaway was, were they having a good time?
You guys, there were some classes that we've done where it was us and people literally came up to us, and I don't consider myself an expert at anything. This is just what I've done. This is what I think. This is who I am. As far as the whole title of expert, like in reality, what the F does that even mean? You know, so like if you have a passion for something, then you can most definitely teach in that area. And really when it comes down to teaching, what a lot of people want to know is like, they want to know, is this, you know, what would you recommend? What would you recommend? I really wish that a lot more experts would embrace that, because I've also been to things where it's just somebody with a board up just talking step by step. Like they've basically, retained the curriculum and they're walking you through the curriculum step by step. And it's the most boring shit that I've ever been to. And I don't retain any information. And I know that a lot of people work that way. So just doing something that you're passionate about and having fun in talking to other people about it, that's a really awesome class.
Bill's like, every time I teach a class, I expect someone to scream out that I'm not a real artist, but every class the people are completely awesome. Teaching scares me, but I love it too.
And that's important to know. Like, Christina, you're predicting, you're guessing, right? But until you actually do it, you're not going to actually know. And so if there's any part of you that's like, you know what, this might be fun, just do it. And don't punish yourself for getting it wrong. Just go and have fun.
Jeremy wants to know, aloha, Klee, you look so glowing. Oh, thank you. Just curious on how you handle different perspective in both of your works with Rafi. Do you ever get into small fights? No, but we do differ in our perspectives on certain works. And so, like, if let's say I don't understand what Rafi's trying to get across with a painting, I will tell him so. And then we'll, like, talk about it. Or if he thinks that I'm doing something that doesn't make sense to him with a design, we talk about it. And sometimes it's like, oh, you have that aha moment of like, maybe I don't know what I'm saying with this. And sometimes it's like, no, it's exactly what I want it to be. But so we do have discussions about it, and we are very vocal with each other as far as that.
Very honest too. Like, if I don't like something, then I don't like it. But I also know that it's just my opinion. And so a lot of times I'm curious to hear like, okay, well, what are your thoughts on it? Like, why are you doing it that way? Because it might just be a difference in perspective. And that's how everyone should really communicate with one another when it comes to the work. Because there are some pieces that she didn't like, and then after I talked about it, she's like, oh, I see that now.
I changed my mind.
And same thing with hers. And then there are some pieces where like she'll be like, I don't know, and I'll be like, I don't care. And same thing with her. So yeah, it's healthy to not, I mean, people aren't supposed to constantly agree on everything.
Yeah, it's helpful to get a perspective that is different from yours and have that soundboard. Clover said it's an unincorporated rural province, lol, but yeah, ghost town. When I write, I just start writing. I get stuck though, said Leith. Matthew said, I really like what you guys talked about with revitalizing in the area, giving you some ideas.
Awesome.
Artist Haven said, I'm still on the hunt for home base. I can't decide, but it has to be warm year round because I'm a wimp after 30 years in Minnesota. Gonna do a search for art towns now. So thanks.
I was a wimp for the heat. Like,
yeah, we were the opposite.
This is like, today it's cooler outside, and I was like, and I was like thinking about it. I was like, right now it would be an armpit in Florida.
It almost undoubtedly is.
Yeah.
Also, Artist Haven, I will be happy and excited to tell you about some of our most favorite places ever that we've seen that might appeal to you to do some checking out of. Bill said, my teaching philosophy is if you can't be informative, at least be entertaining.
That works, Bill. I love that. I love that. Karen DeLuna, expertise is overrated, lol. Yes. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Too many people bank on that, man. Too many people, in fact, it's a marketing technique. Whenever you see something, it's like, well, I have 10 years of experience, is blah, blah. It's like laying out the foundation of like, I'm an expert, so listen to me. And, I have a red flag always goes up. Like, I'm like, I don't care how long you've been doing this. Because just because you've been doing this doesn't mean that you and I are going to do this the same way. So yeah, for me, I'm like, I want to know if you're my kind of people and if I'm going to get along with you.
Christina's like, maybe I'm too used to people where I live hating everything that isn't perfect all the time. And if they can't find fault, they hate it even more.
Well, the beauty is that if you, I'm sure that there's other people out there that hate that too. So maybe the people that hate that 100% perfectionism stuff are the people that are going to be your people. And then in your class, you could be like, you don't have to get it perfect. And you'll be like a breath of fresh air.
Cameron said you don't have to be an expert because every expert in the same field has a different opinion anyway and can't agree on who's correct, do you? And show the world who and what you're all about. That's true, Cameron.
That is so true.
Kelly said if you love what you do and share how you came to do what you do, that's teaching. Don't overthink it. Wisely said, Kelly.
Oh, that's really well said. Yeah.
Robot Rabbit said, I was surprised how well I was received by business owners on my looking for places to show my stuff tour. I love that you call it that. Looking for places to show my stuff
I
tour.
love
That's
it.
great. I expected more rejection. You're right when you talk about limiting ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so proud. That's awesome.
That is
by
awesome.
the way. That is awesome. That's a big step to be able to put yourself out there. And, essentially what you're doing is you're facing rejection. The surprising thing is that usually there's way less rejection than you anticipate. And it's just a matter of doing the thing. Because if not, you're just thinking about doing it. Oh, it'd be really nice if I showed my artwork in places, and then you don't do it, and then, nothing comes of it. And I'm like, just take the leap, take the risk, take the chance. So what? What's the worst that's going to happen? Somebody's going to say no? Big deal.
And then you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Lenscap wants to know, do digital watercolor images derived from a Photoshop program have artistic merit, i.e. no original print exists? Absolutely. And we know some artists who do that type of work full-time professionally or as a hobby or as a passion. And I've seen some incredible works rendered in that fashion. The Photoshop program is a tool, just like a brush is a tool, or just like anything else is
Exactly.
a tool.
Just look at it as a different medium. Like, that's all. And you know what? There's going to be a lot of bullshit on artistic merit. Just, I'm working on a t-shirt right now that's a little cartoon image of Pluto. And it says, scientist, this is Pluto. Scientist told Pluto that Pluto wasn't a planet. Pluto kept rotating around the sun. Be like Pluto. So in my mind, I'm like, who gives a shit if anybody thinks that it has artistic merit or not? If it's something that you love doing, keep doing it. Because like Cameron said, nobody could agree on anything. So just do you and create your own trail.
As someone who's attempted to render images in Photoshop, I can tell you that it is not easy.
It's not easy.
or any of those digital programs.
For anybody that's like, it's so easy. It's like, no, it's not. No, it's not.
Cameron wants to know, what is Clee helpful at when you are looking for her thoughts on your art? What kind of stuff do you rely on her opinion for when evaluating your own artwork?
I mean, nothing really. I don't rely on her for anything. The only thing I would rely on is like to hear what her thoughts are.
I volunteer my opinion on his artwork all the time.
Yeah.
Mostly it's not that deep. I'll be like, oh my God, I love that.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with it. I love everything. Every once in a while, I'll be like, oh,
That's kind of weird. Why is that happening?
or maybe I just feel like that needs more orange, and I'm not sure why. And every once in a while, I'll be like, I don't know, like I had said before, I don't know what you're trying to say with this.
Yeah.
There's one that comes to mind in particular that I knew kind of where Rafi was trying to go, and I was like, I don't think
I was overworking it. It was so dark, and like I just could not. I was like, I don't know. What do you think of this? Like, I'm thinking of doing this, whatever. And then I tried defending it, and I realized that there was like no steam or heart in my words, and I was like, why am I even trying to fight for this? Like, I agree with her. Like, I don't know what direction this thing is going in. And I think mostly it has to do with like making sure that my perspective is where it is. Because if Clee is like, I don't like that color or whatever, I'm like, well, that color, I love that color, and it's going to stay in, then it's going to stay in. But at least it gives me something to think about, versus just me dealing with my brain. And even if she is like, oh my God, I love that piece. And I'm like, it's not done.
Go away, Clee.
Go away and wait until it's done. Yeah. Cameron said, my wife has strengths and perspective that help me think and revise when I'm working on a painting. Great.
It is great to have a
Yeah.
soundboard for that stuff. Ultimately, you're the creator of it, so you get the final say, but it's helpful to hear.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, I don't care. It's my art. And then I run, flailing my arms, screaming.
Diane said gives up on looking like I'm actually working and puts feet up, passes the bowl of popcorn. Excellent.
Love it.
Robot Rabbit said, a bar owner told me he'd love to do art shows, dedicated a space for it, but he struggles to find artists. Where are you all hiding?
Right? Right? And that's one of the things that we ran into in Pensacola, right? Like, approach businesses is like, well, thank you so much for coming in. Like, I've been trying to get more artists to come in and whatever. And it's like, there were times where I'd approach somebody. It's like, hey, there's an opportunity here. And they're like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, you gotta just, how are people going to buy your art if they don't know that it exists? Put it out there.
Indeed.
Greetings from Germany.
Oh, greetings.
Nagazi is
Ngazi.
creativity. Hi.
Also said, I decided to come out of my comfort zone and put myself out there by starting my own YouTube channel 3 weeks ago, showing my artwork. That is awesome. Congratulations.
Good job. Just don't do multiple channels. Just
don't do what we did.
Keep it simple.
Keep it to
simple.
one
Yeah.
channel. That way you don't get overwhelmed.
Yeah, because, when it comes down to it, you got to remember, like, art is the thing that you do. YouTube is a great way of documenting and showing what you do, right? And it's also a great way to communicate with a community. So, social media the same way. The thing that you don't want to do is fall into the mindset, whether it's social media or YouTube or anything like that, of the influencer views, likes, all that stuff. Like, because that's not going to keep you going. That's not going to keep you going. There is no motivation there. The motivation to create a channel and share your process or share your life or share who you are is an extension of the art, but the art always comes first. And that's the thing to remember. Like, we have an artist channel where we talk about being artists and we're doing this live stream. But if we weren't artists, like, what the hell would we talk about?
I don't know.
I'm an expert. I used to be an artist for 10 years, and now we talk about art stuff and charge people money. Like, it's
I make all my money off of you.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, no, you gotta. In my mind, I'm like, you gotta be real. If you're gonna talk about art, then you better be doing some art shit.
Mm-hmm. Nanu said digital watercolor is in some ways more difficult than traditional.
Sometimes, yeah. I know I have a much more difficult time with digital stuff than I do with, like, paintings.
Yeah. Music
Paintings.
Yeah. Digital music production, same thing. We have a hybrid situation of, like, live instruments and digital for our recording. And oftentimes the digital gets very complex and involved, but I love it. So,
Robot Rabbit, do you ship outside the U.S.? Yes.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Armstrong said, my understanding is Pluto is looking to exit the solar system. That is news to me. If Pluto decides to go, I wish Pluto well, but I hope Pluto sticks around.
Maybe Pluto's like, I do what I want.
Maybe
I should change my t-shirt to just a picture of Pluto and it says I do what I want, and then at the bottom say be like Pluto. I like that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Hi, Jinja.
Hey, Jinja.
Revolve in peace, Pluto. Matthew said my friend uses a computer where most of her paintings, on her channel, it's for sure still in art.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Bill said, I think every classic artist was once told that their work had no merit.
Yes, Bill.
True story. Laura Lou said, once a planet, always a planet, Team Pluto.
That's
absolutely.
Right. I love that Bill said that because, like, I was literally told by my art teacher that I would never succeed as an artist because I don't have what it takes because I don't know how to follow rules.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I created an entire art career by not following rules. Thank you very much.
And then wrote books
and
about
then wrote
it.
books about it.
And some of those books are being taught at university now.
Yeah, that's right.
There are some universities and community.
We get contacted by, like, big universities about the books and also the videos. They literally show our videos in their classes, and I'm like, that is crazy.
Do you wish you could sometimes open up a portal to your art teacher and just be like,
man. Like, go back in time and be like,
check this out.
you know who I am? You see that weird looking
Kid.
introverted kid that you just told couldn't be an artist. I'm that artist.
Martine said we all need a soundboard, not just for creative projects.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Robot Rabbit said, I asked my brother for permission to stop. He has fresh eyes. If he says it's done, I feel safe to stop.
That's good. That's good. I
is
like
good.
that.
Christina said, I'm scared of asking to put art in businesses, but if they tell me they need artists, I'm showing them my art ASAP. Well, that's a step in the right direction.
It's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
You know, and there's nothing wrong. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with asking. But Christina, I was scared too. Trust me, all these things that we talk about, it's not like I was like, I am so comfortable with just reaching out and talk. Like, I was shaking. My body was shaking the first time that I approached. I remember one of the coffee shops that I went to, and there was literally art everywhere. So I knew for a fact that this coffee shop owner contacted artists. And even then I went up, I was like, hello,
I am an artist.
I am an artist. So what, what do I have to do to, I was so terrified. But then just little by little over the years, like I, challenge myself. I'd be in a place, there'd be no artwork, and I'd be like, who do I need to talk to about blah, 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 blah. And then little by little getting to that, I still get nervous, but I get less so. I mean, I don't freeze like a deer in headlights,
Bless her.
But it takes time. Like, you're going to be scared until you're not scared. And the only cure for being scared to do a thing is
to do the thing.
to do the thing. Yeah.
CJ said, my hubby does not get abstract, so every once in a while I'll add an orca or a tree. He gets it. That cracks me up. That's like
I
your
do the
dad.
same thing. I've done the same thing. I've had these beautiful abstract pieces, and my dad would be like, I don't get it.
You still making those paintings about nothing?
Yeah.
That's what he calls the abstracts. Some people like what they like. Pops likes naked ladies and horses.
Yeah, naked ladies and horse. That's
That's
real
his art.
That's real art.
And so,
I've made him cry with my art, though.
yeah.
I did a
A painting of a theater in Cuba that
Yeah.
he used to go to as
when
a
he was
kid.
a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, I had the waterworks. That was
Like
pretty
he cried,
that was pretty
like
good.
ugly cried. And I was like, holy shit, did I break my
we
dad?
were like high-fiving in the background.
Yeah, we were.
Jackie Ngazi said, thank you for the advice. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Jackie said Jim Warren quit college because he didn't agree with the art instructor he was studying under, and he chose to follow his own style, and he's made a living as an artist. Follow your heart and your instincts.
That's right. That's right. Agree. Rock on, Rafi.
Sarah wants to know if she's here. You are. You are indeed.
Yes.
Sarah is here on the Rafi Was Here channel. Lucy said, my college art teacher would love your videos. Awesome.
That's
That
awesome.
must mean that your college art teacher is amazing.
Chris Dawes, universities? That's awesome. When
We
knew
knew
you when.
Diane said it. Sarah, nope. Lucy said, wonder what he's up to now, 30 years later. Hopefully living a happy and fulfilled life, because we don't wish ill on anyone, even if they naysayed us back in the day.
I mean, I already told him off back then.
There you go.
I did.
Tell them off in real time so you don't have to wish them ill later.
Yeah, tell them off in real time. It was bad. It was bad. I walked out of that class. It's the only art class that I've ever failed in my life. Mm-hmm. That's why you don't tell an art teacher you're just a failed. You just failed as an artist, so you're teaching and just sitting on your pimply butt. It's not a good.
Oh, right.
It's not a good. Yeah, it wasn't a good burn either.
Well,
It wasn't like I was like, yeah, I said that, burn. It was like, the musings of a hurt teenage kid. It was dumb.
sometimes our burns are not as burn as others. Christina said, yeah, because art's about following rules. Sure, totally. Not about breaking the mold, saying if you after the status quo just because you're interested in it and getting famous for it.
Yeah.
Sean said, every time I hear about your old teacher, I'm so appreciative to have had the high school art teacher I had. She was amazing.
Oh, man. So I would say the majority of all my art teachers, except for this one, were awesome. Like, they were awesome. That's why I don't hate on art teachers, but it's just there are some that have a stick up their butt and you could tell that they also have a chip on their shoulder, and it's like, you shouldn't be teaching art. I'm sorry. If teaching art was your fallback plan and then you gave up on being an artist and decided to just follow that, then I'm like, you should not be teaching art. You should only be teaching art if it's something that you love and you're pursuing art with a vengeance.
Sandy said if you've sold one painting, then you have sold more art than Van Gogh. When he was kicking on this mortal coil.
Yep.
Sarah said, I asked 3 different businesses to show my art. They said, bring some to show them, and I never did. Maybe nerves. Ooh.
Well, then do it.
Do it, Sarah.
Yeah, do it, Sarah. What are you waiting for?
Bill-
Somebody else to do it?
Bill said my cat just jumped in my lap and sneezed in my face. They love to do that.
That's how they say I love you.
Armstrong wants to know, is the painting of the theater in Cuba posted? You did get pictures of it, did you not? Did you take any pictures of that painting? Or no? I feel like you did photograph it, but I don't know if you posted it. I'm going to look back on your Instagram feed.
I may not have posted it. I'll look, though. I'll look and see. And if not, my dad still has it. I'll ask him to take a good picture of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a
because
beautiful
I'm
piece.
really proud of that
I made a
piece.
metal plate for it too that's like says, what and where it is. Not that he needed that, but it was a cool little commemorative thing.
Yeah.
Tears is some of the highest form of praise. Yeah, it was cool
It was cool. Like I said, we were high-fiving. Like,
Yeah, and then it led to some great conversations with
Yeah.
him about Cuba. I wonder how the HOA would handle me doing an abstract on my entire driveway with sidewalk chalk. I don't know,
I think
Nanu.
you should do it.
You should do
You
it.
should do it, and you should document that, because that would be amazing to follow.
IVN, do you think anime is art? Yes.
Yes.
Hugely.
Yes.
It's a beautiful art form, and also anime storytelling, i.e. movies and stuff, are incredible. Big fan.
I think I did a video about that because somebody was told that anime wasn't art, and it pissed me off because, like, there's a lot of people that are like, well, in art school you want to learn anatomy and you want to learn whatever, and like, I'm like, that's fine, but don't take away from anime art because of the style that it is, because you're like, I don't know, it pisses me off. It's like, I don't like when anybody's like,
Yeah, agreed.
I'm not sure what that means.
Cameron said something about your dad being spot on. I don't know where. Oh, yeah, your dad's spot on, though non-representational art is exactly that. Art that's about nothing. That's why I use abstraction, taking what we know and abstracting it. Let's see if you can tell.
I love it.
It's true, and I do enjoy that his dad calls it art about nothing.
Yeah. What are you still doing those pieces about nothing? How do you like me now, Rafi?
Rafi.
Yes.
Teresa said, I keep trying to do abstract alcohol art pieces, but I keep subconsciously trying to make them look like something, and they do. They inevitably look like a big blob.
Every dang one of them.
Just give the series a name.
The Blob. The Blob series.
The blob that refused to not exist. Jeremy said, made my day when you go live. Thank you guys for the passionate heart you both have. Really encouraging. Thank you so much, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Diane would like to know who ate all the popcorn. Popcorn sounds so good, Diane.
It really does. It really does.
Man.
Lucy said, he was awesome, and his attitude was, you may hate my art, but when I asked you what art you like, you had no answer, whereas you've been talking about mine for an hour. I love it. Oh my God, that's so good.
That is great. Matthew said, nah, she's there, man. She is there. My old aggressive, shouty, demeaning art teach is dead. There's not going to get more burnt than that. True story.
It's true.
To be fair, my freshman college art teacher was so dismissive and unenthusiastic that I've completely obliterated any memory of who they were.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect.
I had some excellent art teachers, and I had really just one that was like not so great, but I choose to remember the good times, the good ones. Sarah said, I had an art teacher get angry, red in the face, walked out of the class in the middle of his talk, slammed the door because of something I said.
Good job.
You know?
Good job.
That goes hand in hand with art and art discussion. My science teacher once locked himself in the supply closet and wouldn't come out for the rest of class. But I don't think it had to do with anything that any one of
Not
us
the
said.
not the cabinet, because that would have been weird.
No, the
But
supply
like,
closet.
was he a contortionist? Like he was just showing his art, like this is my performance art, and then he was all like contorting.
No. I have Saltwater Heart said I have 2 paintings up in a coffee shop as part of the competition I was in.
Oh, that's awesome.
Let's see, where are we at?
Cameron said, my high school art teacher used to blow my mind. He would pick up a palette knife and dip 5 colors on it and spread it on the canvas, and it looked like a perfect mountain after my feeble attempt. Weeks. That's a skill. That's a skill. There are certain skills that I've picked up for live painting, which are basically like, you could call them gimmicky skills because it's something that will like work like that. And a lot of it, like when you would watch Bob Ross, a lot of those techniques, those wet on wet techniques are gimmicky skills, but they're still creating the perfect work.
Danita said we don't even have art class in the high school in our town anymore. Cutbacks in funding and teachers, I guess. So first to go, tragic. It's not just fluff, people. It's important. Agree
Yep.
with you.
I agree
100%.
with you 100%. And that's why, Danita, if there is an opportunity there to just do art classes,
To teach, yeah.
then do them. Do them. If the schools and the town and the whatever the government of the town is not taking that as a priority, then fuck them. You decide to take it on yourself and, you know, or get a group of artists together or some kind of thing, because trust me, there's going to be a lot of students out there that are going to want to take those classes. Nobody wants to be in school and just taking boring shit. You know, you want to be able to express yourself.
Yeah. Naylin said, I finally had the nerve to put 2 of my sculptures on my YouTube channel. I had put a couple of sketchbooks show through and didn't seem to be well received. The sculptures have had around 100 views.
That's awesome.
That is
Malin.
awesome.
Now, just be careful that, like, if something doesn't get a lot of views, it doesn't mean that it's not being well received. A lot of times things just get hidden and people don't see them, or they forget to whatever, or, you know, YouTube algorithm, when something shows, then it shows and it picks up and it does those things. So, like, be proud of the fact that you shared your sketchbook walkthrough, and be proud of the fact that you shared your sculptures and that you just kept putting stuff out there. Like, just keep putting stuff out there.
Absolutely. Sean said, but then like a sandwich with questionable meat but delicious bread, my next college art teacher was amazing, and I still have contact.
That's awesome.
I like the analogy. Lozano said, plus you also need to know anatomy to draw anime.
Yeah. Yes. Right? It's so frustrating. Like, that's the excuse that a lot of art teachers that like bash on kids that are, you know, that I'm like, anime is the thing that inspired them to create art. That's the thing that got them to sketch. For me, it was like cartoons and like things like that. It was Marvel Comics, you know? And if an art teacher had come to us like, well, that's not art, you know, and just like completely obliterated anything that I was creating, like, you know, first off, who I am now, I'd be like, F you, you know, but like, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that at all.
It's culturally narrow to say shit like that.
Yes.
Just period.
Yes.
Like, you're just exhibiting the fact that you don't have like the wherewithal to understand a genre.
Yep.
Not to say everyone needs to like everything, but
No, but
you don't have to say
don't
that
bash.
that's not art or this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not art. That's not art. Yeah.
Brianna said, I started a Facebook page for my art, but I find myself overwhelmed with feeling like my art has no value. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I can guarantee you you're overthinking it. I'm guilty of doing the same thing, Brianna.
Yeah.
I just try to silence the chatter long enough to hit the post button.
Yeah, just share it. Just share it. Nobody's going to see it. You know, the way that I always pretend when I post anything, whether it's a video or on social media, in my mind, I'm like, nobody's going to see this. Nobody's going to like it. And I don't care because I'm not posting it for that. I'm posting it for me. I want to look at this. I want to put it out there. And it just, the more that I did that, the more I got used to just posting just for the sake of posting because I wanted to post it. And getting all the feeling, the stuff that's attached to feelings and overthinking it, getting that all out of the way.
Saltwater said, I've had a lot of people ask about art classes for kids.
Yeah.
It's important. And if your city and your schools are lacking it, we got to take it on ourselves.
Yep.
Clover's getting ready to propose teaching D&D at university.
Hell yeah, Clover.
That is
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Let's see. Christina said we used to draw anime a lot in high school, but in class we did what the art teachers wanted us to do, so they had no problem. I mean, do a little bit of both, right?
Yeah.
To weakly defend some art teachers, I think the insistence on learning in a structured way so you can make good decisions on how to deviate from the rules later, but the intent may be lost. It's all in the approach, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's all in the approach.
Because you want the foundational things.
You want the foundational things, but, you know, again, one of those things where, like, an art teacher is like, no, anime is not art. And I'm like, you could basically teach everything about values, color theory, you know, laying down your marks, anatomy. You could teach all of that using that medium that that artist is interested in to begin with. But instead, it's like, no, follow my structural thing here because I need to grade you. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but like, that's where it gets lost. The whole system of grading art, that's where it gets lost.
It does.
If somebody's not showing any interest in art, then it's like, all right, well, you shouldn't be in this class. But if somebody shows any interest in any kind of art, it's like, that's what you want to inspire and motivate that, because that's where things transition from one form of art to another, is through that inspiration, not through bashing somebody.
Mm-hmm. Jenny said, even in high school, I'd say if you eliminate the arts out of schools, you remove a complete demographic who will never know what they are able to achieve.
Yeah.
Fully agree.
Yeah.
Cameron said, Dragon Ball Z got me drawing. That's awesome, Cameron.
Fucking love Dragon Ball Z. Yep.
I remember learning to draw superheroes in high school and being so bad at it. Lol, said Leah.
Yeah, I was horrible at it when I first started drawing my superheroes.
Danita said, I own a little tiny gallery in town where I show my art as well as other local artists. I had a show May long weekend and also highlighted 3 young school-aged kids. One girl sold 2 of her paintings.
Yes,
That's awesome.
I love that. That's awesome, Danita. That's awesome. That's one of the things I loved about Luna Gallery, is that they worked with one of the schools, and they would... So I had my big art exhibit, and then on the other side of that art exhibit was the school exhibit, and
They had a school of art and sciences for kids.
Yep.
And it was really
and that's the thing.
a
If
great thing.
if public schools are dropping the ball, then somebody needs to fill in that space, because I'm like, first off, that the entire educational system is outdated and needs to be revamped, where you see divergent thinking. Creativity brings divergent thinking, and it causes people to not follow the rules and think outside of the box. That's the only way that you're going to think outside of the box, is by not following the rules. If you're constantly following the rules, then you're only doing what's within the confines of what's allowed to you, and that's not innovation. And that's one of the things that pisses me off, because like a lot of companies are, there's not really a lot of innovational thinking now within people. I'm like, yeah, because the educational system sucks. Like, we need to really promote creativity and individuality in our educational system, and art is what does that. So cutting out art and music, like, that's bullshit.
it is bullshit.
I'm not going to go into a rant. That was a partial rant. I won't go into a rant.
It was a mini rant.
Yeah.
Atomic Elf said the popcorn convo made me go make some. Speaking of which, it's that time. And
Oh,
I'm
it
ready-
is that time.
I'm
Okay,
ready to
yeah.
go eat some
we
dinner.
we got some dinner to make. Yeah.
Thank
Here,
you guys.
We'll get these questions real quick. Had a person look down through her fashionably ugly glasses and tell me I didn't work in marble.
if I didn't work in marble, bronze, glass, or oil, they weren't interested. And that no other local galleries would be either. Oh, gross.
Did you like look at them as soon as they said that and go, "Bloop"? I'm sorry, I'm allergic to your words. So annoying.
Wow. Yeah.
Kelly, when I met our teacher in high school, he read my name slowly, stared for a good 30 seconds, looking like he was going to cry, Turns out he lost his child whose first middle name was the same as my whole name. Aw.
Aw, Kelly. Naomi said, 20 years after high school, I spotted my art teacher showing his art at a vending event. He said it was a student that gave him courage to put himself out there. Even teachers don't always have it figured out.
Yes.
True.
And I love that. I love that because I do know some art teachers that are badass and they're out there putting themselves in it. And I'm like, yeah, that's how you do it. I love that. I love that.
Tom's like, I'm here for the rants and possibly puppets.
Critical thinking skills are no longer part of the education when they are tested to death.
Critical
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah,
Yes.
critical thinking. But luckily, as artists, that's what we do. And our children do not just learn from school, they learn from observing crazy ass people like all of us. And, we're the ones that are going to inspire them to critical thinking. So I will, if I need to take on that role in my life, then I will.
Lucy said, I think I blinked a lot. That's a good response. Robot Rabbit said, a question to everyone. An art show with artworks at children's eye level. Good idea or recipe for disaster? I think that could be really cool.
I think that's really cool. My artwork is always up here, down here. It's like if I could fill the wall,
whole wall.
I'm going to fill the wall at every level. And children, I loved when children would come into my booth and ask me about the art.
And talk about how they felt about it.
Oh, I love that so much. Like,
it's good.
The only thing I will warn you is just keep in mind that you are a business and you cannot give away your art to these little
Cute little urchins.
cute
You're
little
going to want
urchins.
to.
You're gonna want to. Like you're gonna want to.
Yeah, when they're like, do you have any art that costs $3? And they open their hand and they've got
I want to buy something for my mommy, and,
you're
then you're like, oh.
It just so happens that I do.
Don't worry, I've been ranting since I typed that, said Jenny. Yeah, yeah. Love you guys. Thanks for all the tips. Yeah, thank you guys for being here. This was fun. And don't forget, on the website and in the description of this, I am giving this away on the website. It is my Three Little Birds piece. This is one of my enhanced prints. It's a print that I mount on wood and I add texture to it. And, it's got UV protection,
All that stuff.
all the boring stuff that's on the listing. And it's ready to hang with my little very easy to hang stuff there, which one of the dolls, Chris, she's like, that is not how you hang your work. And I'm like, it works just fine. But so I'm giving this piece away, and you could see the link in the description to be able to enter for this. And I'll be announcing the winner next Wednesday. So Three Little Birds.
Yeah.
So don't worry, be happy. Just remember, that's what this piece is a reminder of.
Artist Haven's like, I'm hungry too, but no food until after my live. Learned that the hard way. Yeah, us too. That's how we roll. Also, if any of you are interested, the Artist Haven is going live on the channel The Artist Haven after us. Mm-hmm. And Artapalooza, that's a good time. And I believe that Space Art is happening on Chris Dahl's Twitch channel this evening.
Chris Dahl is like Stephanie
is shaking her finger.
It works, Stephanie. It works just fine. I didn't break it. No, it's good.
Stephanie just used mind powers.
I know.
To do that.
Don't
That's
do
what
that,
happened.
Stephanie.
So yes, any of you who want to join those streams, those are good times to be had by all.
Why do you think people want to touch the art? And I'll answer this just as we sign off. I think for the same reasons that I want to touch art. Whenever I see a piece, my hand instinctively goes up, and it's just, when something connects with you, you want to touch it. It's the same instinctual thing where a baby will
Wants to touch your face.
Wants to touch your face. And I think when you really love something, that just happens automatically. And when something has texture and it's intriguing and you really like it, like something instinctual about that causes you to want to touch it. So, yeah. And other than that, you guys, this was awesome. This was a great conversation. In fact, I didn't even notice how fast time went by.
Time did go by fast.
Yeah. So love you guys. And yeah, more adventure videos, still 2 videos a day. we'll be posting. And then not next weekend, but the weekend after, we're going to be doing our
Band practice.
live band practice. And hopefully we have a song that we're going to be releasing. So
We are getting pretty close to ready to drop a new song.
don't eat the soap. Thank you guys for everything you do. Take care. Looking forward to the next live stream. Yeah. Love you guys. And
Love and jazz
and I know
hands.
exactly where the button is, so I'm not going to be struggling to end this
Oh,
stream.
that's so good. That's good.
Wait, what was that? Saw your Dolly print like that. The original is gone. Yeah, the original is gone. All my my artist enhanced prints are from originals that sold. So yeah, these are
I do love that Dolly one.
these are all pieces that like I sold and I just didn't want to be done with them. So that's why these prints came about.
It's
Bam,
like
right.
cinnamon rolls. I want to touch them all. I can't help it, said Ginny.
Exactly.